So I realized my last video was a bit long, and so I apologize. But just to recap, okay, so I'll try to make them a bit shorter for future videos. But we essentially had the 7 principles where the Julian mentor learned from Yogi Raman, right, which he then taught to his student John, which was a student attorney, right? So I taught him these 7 ancient principles. I talked about the garden, the lighthouse, and Kaizen last time. So for garden, essentially having positive thoughts, you can do it via heart of the rose meditation, oppositional thinking, and the secret of the lake, where you visualize your future, what you want to become. The second one was the lighthouse, where you actually go deep within yourself and write down the goals that you want to achieve along with their timeline, and you can make a dream book with all the sections, right, that you want to what you want to achieve in the 5 levels: physical, social, financial, intellectual, and spiritual. And this actually differs from the previous one because you actually write them down. In the secret of the lake, you just imagine them. You can do that via meditation, but it's also helpful to actually have a dream book where you actually write them down on paper. Okay, the next one involves Kaizen. So that's the sumo wrestler, and that involves never-ending improvement. So doing what you fear and just striving to achieve it. And that involves the principles that I mentioned: silence, having the day where you can just be silent by yourself, physicality, where you get that movement and motion every day, eating live foods, reading good books, reflecting at the end of the day on how can you improve, waking up early with the sun, listening good music like classical music to learn and study better, or to help you fall asleep as well. Classical music is great for that as well. Mantras to change your self-esteem, to make you more confident, right, etc., etc. Congruent character, which involves making small changes, right? Nothing too grande. You can make pasos pequeños, small steps to achieve your dreams. And the last one is simplicity. So when you want to focus on your priorities, essentially not just wasting your time on material victories, but rather really what you want. So being able to prioritize your day. Number 4, the next one, involves the thin wires. Remember, the sumo wrestler was wearing underwear made of thin wires. But if you combine those thin wires together, they make cables. So that's where this comes in. It's the discipline, right? It's you being strong, right? And acting with courage. Because, again, it's a small steps, but with courage. Like waking up early, eating healthy. Not the easiest things, especially waking up early, right? But having the courage to do it, again, 21 days, it becomes a habit. So that's what it means, kind of like having those small gains. This involves, you can, again, do mantras here, right, to improve on all levels that I mentioned before. Or vow of silence helps too, because silence helps you decrease the urge to say something that you should not have said. So that's why it's very nice here to have some time of the day where, in fact, some like the whole day are not talking. That really kind of allows you to program your brain to think before you say what should not be said, and it's a difficult one sometimes. Okay, but a very, very important one, probably one of the most important ones I said today. The next one involves time. So essentially that means finding time for all the things that I talked about, for your personal, for your social, for your spiritual development. This involves the golden stopwatch rule, right? So there's an ancient rule of 20, right, where you get 80% of your results from doing 20% of the things. So really being able to prioritize your day and doing the things that are important for you and meaningful for you, right, rather than doing other things that are not so important, and being able to say no to things that are not consistent or congruent with your true desires, right, or the goals that we talked about previously. Okay, and then this is the most beautiful thing out of everything. If you guys want to forget everything I thought about, please do. Don't remember anything, but remember this, what I'm going to say right now. It's called the deathbed mentality. So essentially this involves picturing your grave, essentially, when you're dead, and what you wanted to achieve in this life, and how you want to live this life if this was your last day. Sorry, I got an icon there. So if this is called the deathbed mentality. So so essentially living the day as it's your last. So essentially helping you achieve all the goals that we wrote back in step 2, I believe, right? So acting on them now, because today is your last day. So essentially having this mentality every single day. Okay, so again, this is time, really prioritizing those 20% of the things that give you 80% of the results, those important things, and having, what would you do if today was your last? You really want to reach all those goals, right? So that's what that is. Having a life where you achieve your personal, social, spiritual development, right? You want goals on every level, because you do want to have that balance. You want to have a balance, okay? Number 6 is the fragrant rose. So what is that? What is the fragrant rose? It involves social change. So it's selfless service through charity works, helping your family, contribution, giving, elevating the lives of other people to their highest dimensions. Okay? And this can involve acts of kindness every day, volunteering, or just calling a loved one. Okay? Because this is actually a true dharma, right? It's actually that contribution. So again, this is probably a very, very important, not probably, this is a very important principle. And the last one is called present moment. So this involves living in the present, being happy, laughing, being with your children, with your partner, all that, and cherishing the small moments, and really not rushing time. Like, we don't want to rush time. Never waste it, right? Every single moment you want to live forever. You want to live to the fullest, for you to reach your fullest and deepest potential, because we all have that inner potential that we want to reach. Okay, so yeah, it's actually being grateful for everything you have, and living each day again as the last, having that deathbed mentality, being happy, laughing, living in the present. So this one involves the diamond paths, right? The 7 of in the present moment, living in the present moment, being happy, laughing, right? Going back to when you were a child and having those same kind of experiences, right? Being happy, laughing, living with joy, cherishing every moment. Okay, so this is the last part. So this, I told you guys everything, but so what? Who cares? Who cares? Who? Right? Now is where you actually get to implement everything. That's what matters, right? So again, saying you're too busy is like saying you don't have time to get gas for your car, right? Well, invest for yourself. Don't wait before there is no gas, right? Invest for yourself ahora mismo, right now, okay? So you want consistency. So how can you do that? Well, I'm going to give you all the steps. Get a notebook and write all this down, because it's a nice summary of everything I talked about in the book, and using the book to implement. Because when you read the book, you don't want to just read it. You want to absorb it. And that's why I'm doing these videos. So the first one involves waking up early with the sun, right? You want to go to get the sun as much as possible. It's not always possible in every single location. Where I live here in Richmond Hill, Canada, it's winter, so it's difficult to get a lot of sunlight. But still, even if it's not in the morning, get it when you can, like in the afternoon. But try to get up a bit earlier. That's the first one. Around, well, he says in the book, 5 o'clock. A bit challenging, but see if you can do that. If not, maybe 5:30, right? But essentially, getting up with the sun, or getting up when the light comes up, is always or like 30 minutes before that is a good bet. Okay. The second thing, put in the calendar that heart of the rose meditation, 5 minutes in the morning. Anybody can do it, right? 5 minutes when you're in silence, looking at an object, just at least 5 minutes, right? The next thing is called visualization meditation, right? I mentioned in one of the steps where you visualize all of your goals. There's something called 6-phase meditation by Vishen Lakiani, and that does beautifully. So you can do that for like around 30 minutes, right? Or you go to a nice place and you visualize your future, okay? The next one, as I mentioned, you want to create a dream book. So get yourself literally a book and write down all of your goals. Remember, put pictures of people who achieved them to help you, right? And again, what do you want? You want to actually write your goals there and put a timeline for each one, by what time you want to achieve them, and you want to have goals for each of the 5 levels. So you want to have 5 sections, essentially, right? And make sure they're realistic. So that's why you want to put the timelines, and tell others that you did them to increase that pressure, okay? So that's on top of the visualization, because you also want to have it on paper as well. makes it even stronger, increases your driving force to really go after them. Okay. The next one is read 30 minutes to an hour a day, but you can do more. I read more. and so that's great, right? Try to read a lot, right? If you read a book a day, you can read 365 books a year. Just think about that. That's crazy. That's amazing how much knowledge you can get. Okay. The next one is called, you can do the personal reflection that I mentioned. So at the end of the day, write down what I did well today, what could be improved, right? So essentially you judge yourself, you give yourself an assessment or an evaluation. The next one is you want to change your physical habits. So get more exercise if you're not. Consume more live foods, live in the present, drink more water. It's not in the book, but I recommend it. And we'll have a separate video on that. And then, yeah, you can do whatever you want for physical exercise as well. You can do yoga, Pilates, Qigong, play sports, right? So get moving, change your physical habits, eat live foods. The next one involves planning your day so you actually have time to do all of those things, right? The Heart of the Rose meditation, the visualization exercise, the reading, the reflection at the end of the day, right? Exercising, all that stuff, right? Physical activity, right? So make sure you plan those things on top of all of your other duties that you have to do. And then the last thing, which you also have to include in the plan, and the most important thing, is think of ways to give or to contribute. It can be as simple as calling loved ones, but do something, because that's what gives life meaning to everybody. That's probably like should be everyone's dharma or end goal, right? You want to really make an impact in this world, because at the end of the day, we're all not going to be here soon. So that's key. You want to really make that impact or change. I mean, that's awesome. That's what gives life meaning. Okay. And then the last one is probably my favorite. It's called the gratitude journal. So you write 5 things that you're grateful for. You can do it in the morning, you can do it in the evening, you can do it both in the morning and in the evening. Spend around 10 minutes on it, right? And if you can't think about 5 things you're grateful for, really, you can think about 5 things you're grateful for, anybody can, right? Like if you just even give it some thought, anybody can think of that. At least 5 things. You can do more, of course. Okay, so yeah, try to implement all those things. All those things just take just over 2 hours a day, right? And to reach your dreams. So I would definitely do it. Do it with others. That way it's funner. So as you know, my name is Daniel, and I want to do it with you guys, because doing it with other people, you're actually going to do all those techniques. I will keep you accountable. We'll do it together. It's that much funner. And then the next thing is don't allow a single negative thought to cross your mind. Remember the oppositional thinking? Make sure you always think positively. What I do, if I allow myself to complain, I do 10 push-ups. So punish yourself for negative thoughts. That's also, giving yourself punishment is also actually a nice strategy there. But anyways, okay? So again, waking up early, doing meditation, visualization exercises, making that dream book, reading, reflecting at the end of the day, changing your habits, like exercising more, eating live foods, and doing some form of contribution, and doing a gratitude journal, and as well as planning all those things. Again, around 2 hours a day. I think anybody can do them, and you can really get your results, because if you just live life, trust me, it's worth it to plan that day. And I think Stephen Covey mentioned in his book, it's good to also plan the week. So I'll talk about that later when I when I do a summary of his book. Amazing book as well. All right, guys. Hope you guys understood it pretty well. Again, doing it with other people is so much funner, right? Like, I mean, and give yourself reasons for doing everything, because motivation is huge. Who wants to wake up early? Maybe not a lot of people, right? But why do you want to do it, right? Seeing the benefit. Why do you want to exercise? To be healthy, right? Give yourself reasons to back up all of the things that you want to do, like evidence, right? Perfect. Awesome, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next book review or in my next video. Peace.